Hi everyone, welcome back to Canimando. Today I'm analyzing the trailer of Coco. I already watched the film, I really liked it, and now it's time to analyze the trailer. So let's go into it.
Grandkids, cousins, pretty much everyone gets together, even great grandma Coco.
Okay, first thing I like here is just notice how when he goes to kiss her grandma, great grandma Coco, notice how as he moves forward, he pulls himself here. So he's here resting the hand over the grandma's hand, then he grabs her wrist and then pulls towards him and kisses her on the cheek. And then you can also see the reaction on her head, how it actually moves. So it's not like they're just standing there and he kisses her, but her head actually moves as well, reacting to him.
Grandma Coco.
And also, look at that. A small detail. Look how she opens a little bit the mouth, like, oh, like she realized what happened. So the audience know that she knows what's happening.
And the winner is Luchadora Coco. I tell her pretty much everything.
I love this one as well, because it has so much personality. Just the way he eats the orange. Not only that he throws it up and then catches it, but he also dips down and like makes it more playful. Instead of just being a boring, like eating an orange, how boring can be eating an orange. But he's a kid, so he's gonna try to make everything more playful.
I tell her pretty much everything. I used to run like this, but now I run like this. It's just way faster.
Many great things here. So here basically we have two things. He's here, blah, 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 and then he goes into a run. Okay. So first thing we can see here, look, he's staring at her. So the whole way he's looking at her, explaining her how he runs, and then he's gonna explain, but now I run like this. So look at that. He dips down a tiny bit more, jumps up, and boom. And now I run like this is way faster. Look, he glances at her just 1 second, so the audience can still see that he's trying to speak to her. See, it's awesome. Just a small glance.
But now I run like this, it is what? But now I run like this, it is. But now I run. But now I run. But now I run. But now I run. But now I run like this, it is way faster.
And also the way faster, you can feel it, right? Way faster. But now it's way. Look at that. Way. How they exaggerate the facial expressions. Way faster. Look at that. So there's a lot of squash and stretch. So it's way, a lot of stretch on the head, and then for the F, faster, squash on the head, faster. So it's way faster. There's a squash and stretch on the facials. Great.
Eat your food. Here, have some more.
No, gracias. I mean, see?
That's what I thought you said.
This one is great as well. Okay.
I mean, see?
See, first thing, look, so basically, the grandma comes here, eat your food, places, and you can see how it displaces the other thing that he had. So it's not, so it reacts to the environment, to what's happening in the scene. And then, but let's focus on the animation. So here you can see he's eating relaxed, but then as soon as she starts to put more food on his plate, we can see the surprise. What? So he changes expression. What? He keeps eating. What? Then we see here the reaction. So firstly, and we can see how they synchronize the chewing with the surprise. So they synchronize it. So when he's, look at this. Ooh. So when the jaw is going back, they make the surprise there. So there is a squash on the head, and stretch on the head. When the jaw goes down, the eyebrows go up. So there is a stretch on the head. Whoa, surprise. You can see also the eyelids, how they move as well. And then looks at her, starts to say, no, gracias, starts to shake the head, and then the hand. So it's overlap, like, look at her, no, gracias. So it's one after the other. It's almost simultaneously, but it's not simultaneously. It's like one after the other. Looks at her, no, gracias.
Gracias. I mean, see?
I mean,
See?
see? Look at the squashiness on his face.
See? 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 See?
That's what I thought you said.
And then
You said. That's what I thought. That's what I
1, 2,
thought
3,
you
4,
said.
four eye dots, trying to figure out, oh my god, what's going on? No, I don't want to eat that much. And then squash, a bit of a squash on the face, and oh, see the ease into the pose. Everything is moving ever so slightly.
Dia de los Muertos has begun. It's the one night of the year our ancestors can come visit us.
I thought it might have been one of those made up things. I was just. But
Tonight is about.
This is awesome as well. So here we have two characters having a discussion. Okay.
those made up things. I was just.
So
Tonight is about family.
Might have been one of those made up things. I was just.
So there is rhythm first, and she's not trying to shut him up
Visit us.
I thought it might have been one of those made up things.
with the same gesture or action. You can see first with the head like that, then and so it's changing, moving back and forth. You can see when Miguel talks, he moves forward. When she talks, Miguel moves backwards and she moves forwards.
One of those made up things.
See, like there is a back and forth on the discussion.
I was just.
Tonight is about family.
I am not like the rest of my family. There's something that.
This one is great as well. So he's playing great. Boom. See, the hands overlap, and over one frame, boom. You can see how the lead reacts as well. He starts to grab the cookie on his mouth, and the dog appears. You can see, so the dog appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 frames after we start to see the dog. And then Miguel has the reaction, squash, close the eyes, deep down a bit, and whoa! Whoa! See? Whoa! Whoa!
Makes me different. Great-great-grandfather, I want to be a musician, just like you.
Look at the hand animation as well. How when it's really simple, but okay, the hand is pretty much in the same pose, but then look how all the fingers kind of move all together. So as the hand stops, all the fingers group again together, not completely, but they group a little bit, so we can feel the reaction on the of the hand on the guitar.
Just like you.
All right, boogie then.
I'm sorry. Well,
I'm sorry. So brilliant. So he has boom, boom. He starts to realize what's going on. Then dips down, the head starts the movement, then the torso reacts to that, and then the hips go up. So it's like head pushes the torso, torso pushes the belly, and belly pushes the hips. So it's like woo. Ooh, and then back up again. And you can see how the arms and the torso rotation is the one that get to the pose last.
welcome to the land of your ancestors.
Miguel?
We're your family.
You're skeletons!
You're alive!
You gotta get home before.
Great here as well. Look at that.
Gotta get home.
So look how one starts the movement and moves more than the other one. The other one almost stays relatively close to where he was. But then as they move closer together, then is when they move more to the left. So it's that contrast. They don't meet on the exact same place in the middle, but there is back and forth. And then the arms are the ones that get to the pose last. And you can also see the wobbly feeling that as they push, the head wobbles, everything starts to settle. So it's not like hitting the pose and that's it, but there is also like a bit of a settle.
Gotta get home before sunrise, or you'll be stuck here forever.
Here, this shot I like it as well. It's very simple, but you can see how he raises the eyebrows, he moves the jaw. He's not doing pretty much anything. He just wants to, what? But you get the important thing here I wanted to point out is look at the chest. Look how they animated the breath. So it's believable because we can see his breathing. So if we see the characters breathe, we feel like they are alive. So every time you have a chance, make your characters breathe.
Hurry, come on!
It's showtime!
You, my boy, are meant to be a musician. I must follow my heart.
I am trying to save your life. Nice kitty.
Miguel, some things matter more than music.
Sorry.
Oh, I love this scene. Okay, first of all, so Miguel appears into the scene. He's just walking, relaxed, nothing happening. Oh, what's that? You can see how he turns around, how he's relaxed because of the arms. Look at that. Look, notice how the arms just swing back and forth and relax into the pose, but without almost any effort from Miguel trying to stop them. Just like they just move almost like a pendulum, just relax there.
Sorry.
And then the other part that I like is you can see, okay, the pose, blah, blah, and then as she realizes, you can see how the movement starts with the head and arm, looks at him, and the pose finishes with the hand raising up a bit. So she has hit the pose, but then there is a bit of easy in the hand, so adds the fluidity. Sometimes you don't need to have all the body easing into the pose until the last frame. You can have the body reach the pose, and then for about 4 frames maybe, have one part of the body and the ease into the pose. So you have the overlap, you have the character moving, but you don't need to have the whole body easing into the pose until the end. Okay, but also notice how the whole body moves, and how when she turns around, look at that. Okay, so first the back squashes a bit, the hips rotate as well as the reaction of the spine squashing. So you can see how it pulls a bit the hips move the leg as well, and then there is a bit of curling on the toes. And you can see also this wrist, this hand, how moves a bit, readjusts a bit. So everything moves. It's not like just turns around and that's it. The whole body reacts to that movement.
Sorry. We may have our differences, but nothing's more important than family. I'm proud we're family!
I love this shot as well. I'm proud of family. Look, the accent on family. Proud of family. That's great. Family. And then the pose. Look at that pose. Beautiful silhouette, really clear. Beautiful line of action. We can see just from this pose that he's incredibly happy. Is everything conveyed in that pose, and yes, it's great. I'm proud of family, and see how the different parts. So he has hit the water. The feet get to the pose, and then the torso and the arms finish to get into the pose. And you can see how this arm travels a bit more than this arm from now on. So this arm almost has reached the pose. It's pretty much the body moving, but this arm is still rotating downwards a bit. So you have a bit of overlap, even though it seems that everything hits the pose at the same time. There is variation. There is a bit tiny details that make the overlap happen.
Go away, you! Go!
It's just Dante.
Never name a street dog. They'll follow you forever. Now, go get my shoe.
This one is great. I love this one. Okay, okay.
Go away, you! Go!
It's just...
Okay, from the beginning. You can see how dynamic this is. So she starts to come down to hit the dog. The arm drags back. Then as she reaches the down pose, the arm starts to come forward, tries to hit the dog, creating an arc. Look how the hand moves on an arc. Then the dog jumps and follows, and then you can see how the dog follows a path of action, although it's not completely 100% following the path of action, but quite a lot. So following a fluid path of action, she anticipates for the next one, and boom, another try. Boom. You can see how they animated. So when she tries to hit the dog, so you have the movements in opposite directions moving, and then the dog escapes, and then as that changes hands, anticipation. Look at this silhouette. Great. And steps forward, and boom, you can see how the torso leads, and then boom, over one frame, boom, insane throw, and then recalls back and to the pose. You can see the small secondary action of her just doing that. Boom. Great secondary action there. Name it the street dog. Look, you can see all the overlap on the body as she walks. And then the other thing,
Never name
doing a street dog. naming the and strict dog. So accent, follow you forever. When she says forever, look at the arc on the nose. They follow you forever. So every time, always track the arc, the nose, to make sure the head moves in arcs. So to make sure the head moves in arcs, you can track the base of the neck and the nose. So the base of the neck is going to make sure that there is no pop from the neck, so it's not one pose to the other that feels a pop in the head. But also, if you track the point of the nose, the tip of the nose, you're gonna make sure that the whole head moves in arcs all the time. When she talks, when she moves, and everywhere. So forever. See the overlap on the head? Now. Also, notice how when she goes to say now, so now, so now. So when she goes to say now, they take it so when the overlap is happening on the head, now. So it almost seems like the jaw is pulling the head down. Now. So when the change of posture, so she's a bit straighter, and then now, and change posture, so it feels like now, and the jaw is the one leading the action and changing her to the pose now. So it feels more that the emotions are felt more because the actions are synchronized with the emotions. Now, and you can see now, you can see the squash as well. Goes up, squash on the head now. So many times when you have a stretch pose on the face, many times you want to have a squash pose right before. Now. So now. And the last thing, well, a couple of more things that I wanted to point out. This shot is awesome. Street dog, they follow you forever. And you can see the change. I don't know if you notice. So she's walking like that. Forever. Don't you? So she's walking really intensely, and they follow you forever. So she's like remembering that dog, that the strict dog that followed her forever. So it's like they follow you forever, and she starts to talk. She starts to walk without moving the arms that much, and then now God get my shoe. So, but we can see for a small period of time that she's thinking about it. That she feels like she feels a bit sad about that dog. Look at her. Forever. See? Forever. Now, go get my shoe. So, even though maybe you didn't notice it, like you couldn't point it out, if it's in the animation, the audience is gonna feel it. You don't need to notice it, you need to feel it. So, forever. Okay, my shoe. So there is you can see that the change of posture is not that much. It's pretty, if you watch it, it seems that she's always in the same pose. But you can see how a little bit of straightening up the back and lifting up the head, or lowering the head and bending the back, changes completely the emotions of the characters. And or moving the arms a little bit more or less changes the emotions of the characters. Plus, of course, the facials, right? But they don't convey the emotions just with the facials. They convey the emotions with the whole body. That's why they are so good at it.
Now, go get my shoe. Eat your...
And finally, I wanted to point out, look at the background characters. So you have here, you could think, but how do I animate the background characters? Should I just animate them just walking all the time as the point of focus is in her? Well, you could, but let's see. So first, at the beginning, we can see how he's like scratching his eyes or his nose, and then he's walking, okay, blah, 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 normal. But you can see how there is small readjustments. So firstly, he has more or less this one for this basket forward, then he lowers it, then he keeps walking, and then he leaves the other one. So it's very small movements, very small readjustments, but it adds a lot to the character. So it doesn't feel like he's a robot doing a walk cycle like nothing is happening. But he also readjusts. He feels like he's actually lifting that weight. He has to readjust so it's more comfortable.
Never name a street dog. They'll follow you forever.
See?
Now, go get my shoe.
And let's check the other girl, for example.
Never name. Go away, you. Go.
So
Never name a.
look at her reaction. So she throws the shoe and then look at her, like deep down. Oh wow! There is a small reaction, but see, no, like oi. Looks at her again, and then look at that small readjustments on the flowers.
Name a street dog. They'll follow you forever.
See, so you don't need much. So just a small readjustments, a look, a reaction to what's happening, just those small details that don't distract the audience from the main action, but don't make the characters feel like they are robots. I hope I explained myself. I hope you learn a lot, and we're finished. So this was the trailer for Coco. This was my analysis, and until the next one. But as I always say, check the description.